Welcome students. Today we have the practice session of the problem session of Galilean transformation equations. Our first question is, a rocket traveling at a speed of 500 meters per second ejects gases in its opposite direction from its rear. If the speed of the ejected gases relative to the ground is 1000 meters per second, find the speed of ejected gases with respect to the rocket. So this is the question. First, the data given is a rocket traveling at a speed of 500 meters per second ejects gases. So here the moving frame can be termed as S dash frame. From the derivation of Galilean transformation, it is clear that the moving frame is represented by S dash frame and the frame at a state of rest is represented by S frame. So here S dash frame is moving rocket and S frame is ground. From the second line, it is clear that ground can be taken as S frame. Second line is, if the speed of the ejected gases relative to the ground is 1000 meters per second. So ground is at a state of rest, so it can be taken as S frame. So here we have to consider a particular event. Here the ejection of gas can be considered as the event. Okay, so here we got S frame, S dash frame and event. So from the Galilean transformation equation, velocity transformation equation, we know that UG dash is equal to UG minus V. That is, the velocity in S dash frame is equal to velocity in S frame minus velocity of the frame, S dash frame. Okay, here UG denotes the velocity related to ground in S dash frame, that is UG dash. Similarly, UG denotes the velocity of the ejected gas related to ground in S frame. Here S frame is ground. Okay, so in the equation we have to just substitute the values. First of all, velocity of the ejected gas with respect to ground, UG, can be equal to minus 1000 meters per second. Why? Here the question, from the question it is clear that the gases are ejected in opposite direction. Okay, so this minus sign denotes the opposite direction. So UG is equal to minus 1000 meters per second. And second, velocity of the rocket with respect to ground, it is the S dash frame. The velocity of the S dash frame can be termed as V. So here we have to substitute 500 meters per second. So our equation becomes minus 1000 minus 500. So here 2 minus sign. So we have to add these quantities and put a minus sign. So minus 1500 meters per second is the answer. Okay, so I am moving to the second question. Second question is, show that the force acting on a particle as observed by two observers in two inertial frames of reference is same under Galilean transformation. From the last class, it is clear that the acceleration and the length are Galilean invariant quantities. So in this question, they tell, and we have to show that the force is also a Galilean invariant quantity. It is very simple. So we have to give an introduction, that is, consider two frame S and S dash, S be at a state of rest and S dash be moving with a velocity V with respect to S in positive x direction. Consider the particle of mass m moving with initial velocity u1 with respect to S frame and its final velocity. When a force acting on a particle, its velocity changes. So the initial velocity u1 changes to u2 when a force acting on that particle. Then u1 dash be the initial velocity with respect to S dash frame and u2 dash be the final velocity with respect to S dash frame. So from the Newton's second law of motion, it is clear that force is equal to rate of change of momentum. So here we have to calculate the initial and final momentum in S frame and in the case of S dash frame. and we have to find out its rate of change. Then we will get our final result. So initial momentum P is equal to mv. Here the initial momentum in S frame can be denoted by mu1. Here u1 is the initial velocity. So the final momentum of the particle in S frame is mu2. Force is equal to rate of change of momentum. So here F is equal to m. We have to I took this common factor m outside, mass of the particle, and u2 minus u1 divided by t. This is the expression for the force in S frame. So similarly, I have to calculate the rate of change of momentum in S dash frame 2. So initial momentum of the particle in S dash frame is equal to m into u1 dash. Okay, mass into velocity. So from the Galilean transformation equation, u1 dash can be represented by u1 minus v. X dash is equal to x minus v. Okay, here we have the equation, velocity equations, u1 dash is equal to u1 minus v. So I am applying this Galilean transformation equation in this part. So u1 dash becomes u1 minus v. So final momentum of the particle in S dash frame is equal to mu2 dash. I have to give substitution for u2 dash from Galilean transformation equation. So here Galilean velocity, I am using Galilean velocity transformation equation. So m into u2 minus v. So I have to find out the rate of change of momentum. So m into u2 minus v minus m into u1 minus v. So m into u2 minus m into v minus m into u1 minus into minus plus mv. So here minus mv and plus mv cancels. So our expression becomes m u2 minus m u1 divided by t. So I am taking this m outside, m into u2 minus u1 divided by t. We have to compare equation 1 and 2. In equation 1, F is equal to m u2 minus u1 divided by t. In equation 2, F dash is equal to m u2 minus u1 by t. So we can conclude that F dash is equal to F. So force F is invariant under Galilean transformation. From this we have to give a further conclusion for this problem, that is, the basic laws of physics are invariant in two inertial frames. Here we have proved that the Newton's second law of motion is invariant under Galilean transformation. So it obeys principle of relativity. Okay. In the third question, a train moving at 108 km per hour passes a railway station at time t is equal to 0. After 15 seconds, a man in the station sees a bird flying along the track half kilometer away in the same direction of the train. What are the coordinates of the bird with respect to A, man in the railway station, second, a passenger in the train? Here train is moving with a speed 108 km per hour. Here the moving frame is S dash frame can be considered as what? Our train. So the velocity of the train is 108 km per hour. The second is, the event is the bird flying along the track. The bird is flying along the track. The distance of the track, x component, can be taken as half kilometer. Here we have to find out the coordinates of the bird. First we know that the bird with respect to the man in the railway station. Railway station is in the state of rest. So it can be taken as S frame. So its coordinates can be represented by x, y, z, t. Railway station is at a state of rest. It is considered as S frame. So its coordinates are x, y, z, t. So here x is equal to 500. That is, The bird is flying along the track in half kilometer. Kilometer should be converted to meter because meter is the standard unit. So, half kilometer is equal to 500 meter. This bird is flying along the track. This is occurring in the same direction. So, the y and z component are 0. There is no motion in y and z direction. So, y and z is equal to 0. And time t is given by 15 seconds. So, the coordinates of the bird with respect to the station is x, y, z, t, which is equal to 500, 0, 0, 15 seconds. Okay. We have to calculate the second part. The coordinates of the bird with respect to a passenger in the train. Train is the moving frame. So, we have to use the Galilean transformation equation. We have to use the coordinate transformation because we have to find out the coordinates of the bird. Okay. So, here I am using Galilean transformation equations. X dash is equal to x minus vt. Here x is equal to half kilometer, which is equal to 500 meter, x component, and v is the velocity of the moving frame. So, it is given in kilometer per hour. We have to convert it into meter per second. For that, I have to use one conversion factor, that is the kilometer per hour can be converted to meter per second by multiplying this quantity 108 into 5 by 18. If I have to convert kilometer per hour to a meter per second quantity, then I have to multiply it by 5 by 18. Then I will get the corresponding value in meter per second. So, 108 kilometer per hour can be equal to 30 meter per second. So, here t is given as 15 seconds. Substituting these values in equation 2, x dash is equal to x minus vt. So, here x dash is equal to x 500 minus v into t. V is 30 into 15. So, 500 minus 450 is equal to 50 meter. Where I got x dash. Then I can easily write the coordinates of the bird with respect to the passenger as x dash comma y dash comma z dash comma t dash. X dash is 50 meter, then y dash 0, z dash 0, and time is 15 seconds. Okay. This is the equation, or it's a question to find out the coordinates. Okay. These are the problems in Galilean transformation equations. So, I am moving to the next topic, which is non-inertial frame of reference. What is an inertial frame of reference? Inertial frame for which Newton's laws obey goods, like holds good, or it is a frame for which an acceleration is equal to 0. So, non-inertial frame, this should be an accelerated frame. For this frame, there occur a particular value for acceleration. Okay. First, we have to consider when a frame S dash is accelerated with respect to another inertial frame S, then the basic laws becomes completely different. Okay. In the first case, we have considered, in the case of two inertial frames, one frame is at a state of rest, the other one is moving with a constant velocity. But here, the second frame S dash is accelerated. So, the laws of physics are not hold good in this particular frame. So, such frame of reference S dash, which is accelerating with respect to another frame, is known as non-inertial frame. For a simple definition, a frame of reference in which Newton's laws are not valid is called non-inertial frame of reference. This frame is also called accelerated frame of reference because this frame has particular value for acceleration. In this frame, bodies experience fictitious force. Fictitious force, it is a new term for you. I will explain it later. The examples for non-inertial frame: a frame of reference attached to a giant wheel. So, I hope it's clear. A frame of reference fixed on a freely falling elevator. These are the two examples in non-inertial frame of reference. So, I am moving to what is fictitious or pseudo force. Pseudo. This term itself indicates something which does not occur but appears to be occur. So, that can be denoted by using this word pseudo. So, fictitious or pseudo force. For this, we have to consider a frame S, which is inertial frame. Another frame S dash is moving with the acceleration a0. Okay, here we are dealing with a non-inertial frame. So, the second frame is moving with the acceleration a0 related to S. The acceleration of the particle will be 0 in the frame S. In the case of inertial frame, this particle has 0 acceleration. But at the same time, the S dash frame, the observer can find the acceleration minus a0 is acting on it. So, in inertial frame, acceleration is 0. It is clear from the definition of inertial frame. The second frame is not inertial. So, there occurs an acceleration minus a0 acting on the particle. So, from this acceleration, I can express force in terms of it. That is, S dash in S dash frame, the observed force is equal to minus ma0. This minus ma0 is known as fictitious force. That is a force which does not act on the particle but appears due to the acceleration of the frame is called fictitious or pseudo force. Here it does not occur, but due to the acceleration of the second frame, it appears to be occur. That's why this is called fictitious force. This fictitious force on the particle F is equal to minus ma0. So, here the accelerated frame S dash is non-inertial. Accelerated frame is non-inertial. So, expression for the fictitious force F is equal to minus ma0. Okay. Then, if a force Fi is applied on the particle, I am considering a particle. If I apply a force Fi on the particle, Ai will be the observed acceleration in inertial frame S. Then according to Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. So, Fi is equal to mai. So, F is the force observed in inertial frame. So, the acceleration observed in non-inertial frame can be calculated by using the equation Ai is equal to An plus A0. Here Ai is the acceleration in inertial frame, An denote the acceleration in non-inertial frame plus A0 the acceleration present in the particular frame S dash. So, from this expression I can find out An is equal to Ai minus, I am taking this as A0 that side, Ai minus A0. From this I can write the expression for force as Man is equal to mai minus ma0. Here mai is the inertial force, that is Fi. This minus a0 minus ma0 is the fictitious force. So, I can be represented as plus F0. So, this F0 denotes the fictitious force. So, Fn is equal to Man is the force acting on the particle in non-inertial frame. So, force acting on the particle in non-inertial frame can be termed as Mai minus ma0. Mai is Fi minus ma0 is F0. So, I can write this expression as Fn is equal to Fi plus F0. The total force acting on a particle in a non-inertial frame is equal to true force. Fi can be termed as true force plus fictitious force. Okay. Then the examples for this fictitious force is the motion in a lift. In a motion, if we are considering the motion of a lift, sometimes it moves upward, sometimes it moves downward, sometimes it moves with a constant velocity, sometimes it is free fall. It is under free fall. we have to consider all these cases. So first case, the lift moving upward with an acceleration a0. In the case of a lift moving with an acceleration a0, then if I am considering a man standing inside the lift is moving with an acceleration a0, then the man experiences a fictitious force, because in the case of a non-inertial frame, due to the acceleration of the frame, the particle or the object or the man inside this particular lift will experience a fictitious force minus ma0. So the total force acting on the man in the lift can be calculated as Fn is equal to minus mg minus ma0. This minus mg is the weight of the man. It is the force. True force is the weight of the man. Here minus sign denotes the downward force. The downward direction is denoted by this minus sign. So mg is the weight of the man. This weight is the true force. Here minus ma0 is the fictitious force. So here minus m can be taken out. Then I can write minus m into g plus a0 is the expression for the force acting on the man in the lift. So from this it is clear that this minus sign denotes the downward direction or the opposite direction. So here the term inside this bracket is g plus a0. So we have to add something, the value of acceleration to acceleration due to gravity, that is represented by g. So m into this particular term means the mass of the man is increased or he becomes heavier due to this additional term. Here I am adding g plus a0. So the weight of the man becomes more. That's why I can say he becomes heavier when the lift is moving upward with an acceleration a0. It's the first case. In the second case, if the lift is moving downward with an acceleration minus a0. If a lift is moving downward, we have to consider the acceleration as minus a0. If it moves upward, it can be taken as a0. If the lift is moving downward, it is taken as minus a0. So in this case, for second case, here F0, the fictitious force is equal to ma0. How I get this value? Because a0 in this case is represented by minus a0. From the expression of fictitious force, we have already a minus sign. F0 is equal to minus m into a0. So I am giving another minus sign due to this case. So here minus m into minus a0. These two minus sign cancels out. That's why F0 is equal to ma0. Then the force acting on the man in this accelerated lift. So force acting on the man is equal to Fn is equal to minus mg. This true force will be same in all cases. True force, that is the force in the inertial frame, will be same. That will be minus mg for all cases. The value of fictitious force changes according to our situations. That's why here minus mg plus ma0. If I am taking minus m outside, g, here a minus sign comes. So g minus a0. So here the man loses his weight, because here I have to subtract some factor. So the entire value of this m decreases. That's why the man loses his weight. Okay. In the third case, lift is moving with a constant velocity. In the case of constant velocity, acceleration a0 will be 0. If moving with a constant velocity, its rate of change, there is no rate of change, it can be 0. So if a0 is 0, our second component in the expression for force, that is fictitious force, vanishes. That's why I can say F is equal to minus mg. Okay, this is the third case. In the fourth case, I am representing free fall. If the lift is falling freely under gravity, falling freely under gravity, then a0 is equal to g. In that case, our expression for force become minus mg plus m into a0. This a0 can be represented as g. So here in the case of falling downward, a0 minus a0 can be taken as, here the second case, it is similar to something which is similar to the expression. Look at the expression minus mg plus ma0. This plus sign can, because it is moving downward, so minus mg plus mg. This g comes because a0 is equal to g in the case of free fall. So minus mg plus mg is equal to 0. So he feels weightless. This is the fourth case. Okay. So in today's class, we practice some problems related to Galilean transformation. Then we have explained what is non-inertial frame of reference. It is also known as accelerated frame of reference because it has some value for acceleration. The second frame is accelerated, that's why it is known as accelerated frame of reference. For that, a man or a particular object in this accelerated frame will experience a pseudo force or a fictitious force. It can be represented as F is equal to minus ma0. Then example for this fictitious force is the force acting on a man in lift. There is three cases. Man is standing in a lift which is moving upward, which is moving downward. A lift is moving with a constant velocity. In such cases, and another additional case, a free fall also considered. And in the case of first case, it is clear that moving with an acceleration a0 in the upward direction, the force is equal to minus m into g plus a0. Here an additional term g plus a0 comes, so the weight becomes more. The second case, if it moving in a downward direction with an acceleration minus a0, minus denotes the downward direction, so this second term becomes plus. So here the term in the bracket denotes that the man lost his weight. Third case, in the case of constant velocity, the acceleration is 0, hence no fictitious force acts. Then the force acting on the man is F is equal to minus mg. Free fall, in the case of free fall, a0 can be equal to g. So minus mg plus mg is equal to 0. He feels weightless. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.